Hello, everybody. Good to be with you. So today we're going to do sort of an investigation, sort of a meditation perhaps. You don't have to close your eyes for this video, but if you do, you'll find far less distraction, and that will probably work in your favor. A lot of people will wake up from this video, say a lot, I don't know what that means, but some people will wake up from this video. I don't say that about every video I cut by any means, but when I do say it about one of these videos, I'm never wrong. I'll get emails, I'll get the YouTube comments, and people will come to see truth. There may be some duration to it, there may not be. But coming to see the truth is coming to see the truth, whether you see it for a second or you see it for a year, or 10 years, or 20. Just see if the body will relax. And if it will, that's fine. And if it won't, that doesn't bother you, won't affect you. The body could be keyed up and nervous, and it's not going to affect you one way or the other. We're not trying to wake the body up. Let's be very clear that we're not trying to wake up the character either. You think that you are a particular person. The so-called particular person over here is named Fred. Over there, it might be Mary or Bob, who knows. But what I can promise you is that you are not that Mary, you are not that Bob. The name that you have always identified with that body has nothing to do with that body. And you have nothing to do with that body. There is a body, there is a name, there is a you. There's the you. You're not the name, you're not the body. So let's just run with that. Let me tell you the words to which I woke up by long years ago now. I was sitting on the steps, interior steps of my little apartment down near the bottom. I don't know why I was sitting on the steps reading, but I had stopped to do that. And I read something that said, when everything else is gone, what is left? And instead of just doing what I had always done, which was just pass that over and say, oh, that's a good pointer, or gee, that really will, I'm glad to have that information, or something along that line. I actually stopped and let everything go. And then I went, when it was seen, what was left when everything else is gone? I stood up and began to almost scream in the house. And the words that I was screaming were, this? This is it? And I didn't quite yet. It was hitting, but it hadn't quite come all the way home. And I walked over to my chair and I sat down in my chair. As I recall, I sort of almost like fell into the chair because I was just being rocked. And when my butt hit that chair, a little round, felt like a little round BB in the very top of my skull, opened and locked open. It was like I could hear the click. It was very much that I could feel it turning. It turned 180 degrees and it locked open. This does not need to happen to you. I'm just reporting what happened in this instance of awakening. And then the veil completely dropped. It is a strange veil because there is no veil. But there's a sense of a veil dropping. There can be a sense of awakening. Hence the term awakening. But it's just a sense of awakening. You don't have to wake up. I didn't have to wake up that day. I had started that day awake, but I did not know it. I had started this life awake, but I did not know it. There has been awakeness present always. And that awake presence is very, very easily identified. Just notice the sense of existence, that simple sense of existence. You're hearing these words. How is that happening? In the absence of a sense of being, a sense of existence, could you hear anything? Could you see anything? Could anything exist? And you can say, could anything exist for me? But we don't know that there's more than one of you. I happen to know that there's not more than one of you. Some levels, there's not even that, but you don't need to go there. Not right now. Right now, we're just trying to notice this sense of existence. That sense of existence, think about the attention that you're using right now to try to find that sense of existence. How is that attention operable? Isn't there something behind that attention? Isn't there, there has to be some kind of apparent living or lifing in order for attention to come about. There has to be a body for that attention to come about. There's a sentient body there that spawns that which is the author of that attention. Notice this sense of existence. Just notice right now that there is a sense of aliveness. There's a sense of aliveness here and now. There's a sense of being here and now. There is the strong sense, not of something's presence, not of someone's presence, but there's a sense of presence that you not only feel, but which you are. I remember when I woke up that day, some of the things that went through my mind. This may sound odd to you, but one of the first things that came to mind, it was almost like a resentment. It was like, why didn't they tell me that it was a verb? Why didn't they tell me that I was a verb? I had always thought I was a noun, a person, place, or thing. But I wasn't. And I wasn't a verb. I was the verbing of the universe. You are the verbing of the universe. There's a sense of life. There's a sense of motion. That sense of motion can only take place against a background of stillness. The stillness has to be there first. Verbing occurs on top of it. There is something indescribable, unreachable, unknowable, but we can know of it. And it's that which is prior to this sense of existence. But we'll not spend any time on that which is prior to the sense of existence, that which is prior to language, that which is prior to thought, or that which is prior to language. Because we cannot come to know it, but know of it. When everything else is gone, when everything else has fallen away, what's left? Drop the acquisitive personality. Just a moment. Drop what you think of as ego for just a moment. Drop the body. Drop the room. Drop the earth. What's left? That attention that we were talking about earlier. Where is it? It's right here, isn't it? When is it? It's right now, is it not? This attention is your looking tool. If you're looking for a unit's socks or its keys, you're using attention to try to find it. If you're driving your car, you use attention to keep knowledge of where you are and where you're going and what you're doing and how fast this is happening and what the weather is right then. Is it cool? Is it warm? You can tell, you know these things. How do you know all these things? You can hear. How is that? The sense of existence, this simple sense of being. See, there's a sense of being here, now. Notice this sense of being. Let go of everything else. A body of history, of memory. Let go of everything. That sense of being remains. Now, can you find an owner to that sense of being? Is the sense of being directed, or is it just there? Can you make it happen? Can you make it unhappen? Hold your breath. How long can you hold your breath before breathing happens again? And we say, how long can you hold your breath? That's the common language. But can you actually find the holder of the breath? Yes, there's a sense of being here. And what's that sense of being doing? It's not doing anything, is it? That's the reason we call it the sense of being and not the sense of doing. There is a sense of doership. Can that happen prior to the sense of being? No. There's a sense of happening. Can that sense of happening take place if there is not first the simple sense of existence? Where does this sense of existence come from? What can you remember prior to the birth of that unit? What can you remember from deep, dreamless sleep? What can you remember from anesthesia? From the experience of being anesthetized? Nothing. You can remember nothing. Because there's no sense of being. And therefore, there can be no noticing. This simple sense of existence is that which is primary. Within manifestation, it is that which is primary. But notice that you've no idea where this came from. There is a sense of aliveness. Yes, when did it start? What did you do to make that happen? Who's responsible for it? Who took care of that fetus that you once were, that seed that you once were, that fertilized seed that you once were? What did you have to do with that? Are you the author of that? No. It just to just arose. And notice that you can't remember anything prior to this sense of being. And notice that you can't project anything post this sense of being. We can't remember anything prior to existence, and we simply cannot imagine the absence of existence. Because it takes the sense of existence before imagination can take place. Notice that this sense of being is absolutely timeless. These units, they grow, they mature, they wear out, they die. Did this sense of being, does it age? This sense of existence, does it wear out? There's a constant fear that this sense of existence is going to wear out. But come the end of the sense of existence, nothing can be known. Know yourself as this sense of existence. Notice that it encompasses everything. Because you have a sense that everything exists, don't you? If you look at it, the world came into being for you at the beginning of the sense of existence. And this world will cease to be a viable channel on the body's death. Do you die? How could that be? You're not the body. The body is from you. You are not from the body. You do not have consciousness. Consciousness has you. When I say that, I mean the unit. Nothing has you. You have everything. Nothing has you. And you are that nothing. In which universe and world and all of manifestation appears. But what about when it is not appearing? Is your absolute existence contingent upon a sense of it? No. There was no sense of being, but that doesn't mean that you were dead. How could you be dead? You're unborn. This world is the world of the born, but you are what's prior to that. That which is not born cannot die. You birth this universe. But you don't need it. It desperately needs you, because without the sense of existence, it cannot exist. Nothing can exist in the absence of the sense of existence. When did the sense of existence start? You can't remember. When will it disappear? You don't know. We assume with the death of the body. But we can't know anything beyond the death of the body because there is no sense of being there to know it. You are the sense of existence. You are not sensing the sense of existence. You are the sense of being. You are the sense of existence. No separation. Notice that this sense of existence doesn't have a boundary. Do you even remember that you have a body? Well, you have them all. What looks through this body is the same thing that looks through yours. At the same time. It exists within the sense of existence itself. And it does not exist in the absence of a sense of aliveness. You feel you are alive. What is it that feels you are alive? You've been told 1,000 times you are not the body. When are you going to believe it? Believe it now. The body is not even alive. You are. You are that by which the body lives and moves. When everything else is gone, what's left?